Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we got some breaking news coming out of Kyosho. We're getting a car that I really didn't think we were going to get. Again, that's going to be RERE, and that's the 1986 Optima Pro. It's the last in the Optima chassis series. Now, I've got two of them. I've got the Javelin and I've got the Turbo Optima. Now, the actual Pro chassis came after the Turbo and was kind of designed to be more for the racers that were racing at the time, the Turbo. There was a few improvements that they did. They actually looked at the car and thought, well, now we're moving away from the mechanical speed controllers to the electronic speed controller. We can change the design of the chassis a little bit and hopefully improve the weight distribution. So what happened was the top deck was modified, because that's where the mechanical speed controller went. The servo that used to drive the mechanical speed controller was removed, freeing up a little bit of space. So they took the battery location and moved it forward. They took the steering servo, because that was going to be in the way, and actually put it behind the battery. Now, this helped balance things out a little bit, but when you move the servo away from the steering, your linkages get a bit longer, so you kind of have to be careful, because as you start doing that, you start to get more slop in the steering. But that's what they did. Also, one of the glaring issues when you were racing one of these on dirt, so they put an under tray in and apparently added some ground effect, even though it's quite high. Now, when they put the under tray to protect it from all that dirt flying up inside, they could actually change the body to kind of clamshell together to keep as much dirt out as possible. Now, it still was chain. All of these were chain. There was a belt option that came out slightly later, just as they were transitioning to the mids to try and make some of these last a little bit longer on the track, but none of them actually came with belt from the beginning. Well, apart from the RERE, this one came with a belt, but I actually fitted a chain to it. You did have the option, and if you've never done a chain, don't let it put you off. Definitely fit a chain. They are really cool and way smoother than you think. You kind of have this vision of having a chain being crazy, clanky and noisy. Definitely worth having one in your collection that's a chain, especially if you drive it. Yeah, you have to do a little bit more maintenance on it and the chain will stretch over time, but as long as you're not ragging the life out of it, it's a really nice experience and way smoother than you might think. So when the Optima Pro came out, it was cheaper. It was never going to come with a mechanical speed controller. It didn't come with a motor. The idea was that if you were currently racing your Optima Turbo and it was getting a little bit ragged, don't forget back then, you know, cars didn't last as long as they did now, and they're nowhere near as strong. So people would then transition into the Pro, take all the benefits of the Pro, and then move over any of their bits that they had in their Turbo that they'd upgraded onto that. And obviously, being cheaper, it was a nice way to move over before they then went on to moving on to the mids. Now, the RERE kit, we haven't really seen anything. Super early days. It only just dropped in the last hour or two, but I'm sure over the next few days we'll start to see new pictures of it. But the kit is 30620. Now, I know what you're going to ask me. What's the price when we're going to get it? Now, the price, I had a quick look this morning in the UK, and a Turbo Optima is going to cost you $379, which is basically one of these. The Optima, which is the first one, that's $329. So I'm assuming it's going to be around that price. I wouldn't expect it to be up at this price, as this come with so many more gold anodized parts. This is really their kind of top one, so I expect it, I would guess, around the 329 to 350, I would have thought. Now, should you get one? Yeah, 100%. If you've never built a kyosho before, this is the best RERE I've ever built. Out of every car I've built on the show, this is the most beautiful one to put together. Is it very practical to take it if you're going to go blasting? Well, no, obviously not. But as a piece of engineering and just stunning, I love this to pieces. So obviously I will be getting the Pro on the show as well and putting it in my collection. Also, do you think it's going to come with all the layout blister packs that we've seen in the previous ones? Or do you think they're going to dial it back a little bit to try and save some money and make the box a bit smaller? Are you thinking about getting one of these? Comment below, let me know what you think. Now, the release date, that's the next big question, right? Well, I'm going to guess June. but I have nothing to go on. I'm just looking at it from where we are now, and then, you know, giving it a bit of time to get it out and ship it, and going on what the release dates of the previous REREs from Kyosho. So I'm going to say optimistically June, might slip a little bit more. Now, I know quite a few of you are going to be, no, we just wanted the toms. Where's the mid-toms? That should have been next. But for me, personally, I always liked the look of this car and I always wanted to get one, but obviously getting a vintage one is a lot more tricky. So for me, getting a RERE, building it on the show and then add it to my collection, I'm super chuffed. And yeah, nice one, Kyosho. Obviously, don't forget about the toms. We want to see that soon too. For Christmas would be lovely. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.